Welcome to the Explainer. So, whether you're a prospective homebuyer looking to invest in real estate or you're just a curious resident, mastering the public records system is an absolute game changer. Seriously, knowing how to find property ownership details is absolutely crucial. Today, we're unlocking Horry County property deeds, and we're going to turn what looks like an overwhelming maze of government data into a really clear, completely actionable toolkit for you.
But before we even get into the weeds, 2.35%. What exactly is that? Well, if you try to pay for official, high-resolution property records online using a credit card, you're going to get hit with this convenience fee from a third-party processor. But if you use an e-check instead, it's completely free. It's exactly this kind of insider detail that saves you time and money, and that is exactly what this explainer is all about. All right, here's our roadmap. We are going to start with why this matters in Horry County. Understand the different types of deeds. Gather our tools. Walk through the step-by-step search process. Analyze what we find for red flags. And finally, look at some alternative resources.
Okay, let's dive into Section 1, Introduction and Importance.
If you spent any time around the Grand Strand recently, places like Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach, or the rapidly expanding Carolina Forest area, you know the market is moving at lightning speed. And explosive growth literally means thousands of land transactions. If you jump into this real estate market without checking the property records first, you are flying blind. You could end up inheriting a hidden tax lien from the previous owner, or you might discover a restrictive utility easement right where you plan to put in a pool, or even find some really aggressive HOA regulations that totally ruin your plans. Accessing these records is your ultimate defense against those hidden financial dangers.
Moving right along to Section 2, Understanding Property Deeds.
To do a proper search, you first got to know who actually holds these documents. Down in Horry County, the Register of Deeds handles the transactions, the assessor handles tax mapping, and the clerk handles lawsuits. Now, when property changes hands through the register, it usually happens via a grant deed. Under South Carolina law, a grant deed transfers title in what's called fee simple, which basically just means absolute ownership, and it guarantees the property is free of unstated encumbrances. But for this document to be validly recorded in the first place, it has to contain a comprehensive legal description, something like a meets and bounds survey or a specific plat reference. Now, there is a critical difference between the types of deeds you're going to encounter. A warranty or grant deed is exactly what you want when you're buying a home. It guarantees clear title, and it actually requires the seller to defend against future claims. On the flip side, beware of the quitclaim deed in a traditional sale. A quitclaim offers absolutely no guarantees. None. It basically just says, whatever interest I might have, I'm giving to you. While that's super useful for, say, transferring property between family members or fixing a typo on a document, it provides zero title security for a new buyer.
All right, Section 3, Preparation. Let's get our tools ready.
You can't just log in and expect to find everything with a vague search. You need the exact details. So gather the exact names of the buyer and seller, which are known legally as the grantee and grantor. Get the property address and the parcel identification number, usually called the PIN. And here is a massive pro tip for you. While searching the county index is free, if you want to download or print the high-resolution, unredacted property deeds right from your home computer, Horry County requires you to set up an escrow account funded by a $25 check. Once that's funded, copies cost just 50 cents a page.
Oh, and before you even open your laptop, pay really close attention to this. Avoid Apple's Safari browser. It's wild, but the county's online payment gateway for copy fees and tax processing is technically incompatible with Safari. It's just going to break or fail to load. So for a smooth experience, you absolutely have to use Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, or Microsoft Edge. Just make sure your cookies and JavaScript are enabled, and definitely make sure your pop-up blocker is turned off for the county site.
Which brings us to Section 4, the step-by-step search process.
Okay, so your browser is ready, your escrow is funded, and you've got your PIN. Let's actually pull some records. The core system for Horry County is called the Acclaim Web Portal. Step 1, just access the portal. Step 2, choose how you want to search. You can search by name, book and page number, or legal description. Now, Step 3 is vital. If you are searching by name, you have to search every possible spelling variation. The system indexes names exactly as they were typed on the physical paper decades ago. So if a clerk misspelled Smith as Smith with a Y back in 1992, you won't find it unless you actually search for Smith. Finally, Step 4, pop into the site settings and check the box to auto-load images in Adobe PDF format so you get the clearest document viewing possible. So the really crucial point here is knowing which tool to use for which job. Acclaimed Web is a text-heavy database for the legal documents. We're talking deeds, mortgages, and liens. But if you want to see the property visually, you need the Land Records GIS mapping application. The GIS system gives you spatial data sets. It shows you parcel boundaries, flood zones, and zoning classifications, all overlaid on a nice satellite map. It's honestly fantastic for just getting the visual lay of the land.
Next up, Section 5, Verification and Analysis.
Because finding the document is really only half the battle. Now you have to scan these documents for red flags to protect your investment. Imagine this. You find the perfect property, you pull the deed, and you discover an unrecorded easement cutting right through the backyard. Or worse, you find a pending probate estate settlement, which means the seller doesn't even have the legal right to sell the place yet. You've also got to check for mechanics liens from unpaid contractors, and you definitely want to verify the tax assessment ratio, because in South Carolina, primary residences are taxed much lower than investment properties, and an error there can literally cost you thousands of dollars a year.
And hey, remember this explicitly regarding those beautiful GIS maps we just talked about. The county boldly disclaims liability with this exact quote: GIS maps are provided as is and do not substitute for a professional boundary survey. So please, never use the online map to settle a legal boundary dispute with your neighbor over a fence line. The map is for tax assessment, visual purposes only. If you need legal boundaries, you absolutely must hire a professional surveyor. Now, deed fraud is a growing concern nationwide, but there is a tool that gives you incredible peace of mind. Horry County offers a completely free recording notification service, or RNS. It's so easy. You simply register your exact name and an email address. If any document, like a fraudulent title transfer or a fake mortgage, is recorded under your name, you get an instant email alert. It empowers you to catch fraud the very moment it happens. Finally, let's look at Section 6, Alternative Resources. What happens if the online portals aren't giving you what you need? You might be tempted to just Google a person's name and pay for one of those background check websites. Beware of those. Third-party aggregators charge high subscription fees for data that is mostly free directly from the county. And even worse, they suffer from dangerous data scraping errors. Like, they might attach a lien from someone in Ohio to the person you are researching right here in South Carolina. Stick to the official county portals for high accuracy, direct source data. And there is a limitation to the digital world. While Horry County is aggressively digitizing their files, if you're doing a deep chain of title search on a historic farm or some property from before the 1980s or 90s, the digital trail might just go completely cold. In those specific cases, you'll need to physically drive to the Government and Justice Center in Conway, South Carolina. Once you're there, you'll roll up your sleeves and search through the historical microfilm and the physical handwritten ledger books in person. Before we wrap up today, we do have to state this really clearly. This explainer is a thorough educational guide meant to empower you, but it does not replace formal legal counsel. Property law is highly complex. If you are ever in doubt about anything, or if you are actually closing a transaction, always consult a qualified South Carolina real estate attorney to verify the legal aspects and ensure you have a perfectly clear title. Well, we have covered the tools, the techniques, and the insider secrets to navigating the Horry County property record system like a true professional. You now have the power to protect your investments and peel back the layers of literally any parcel in the Grand Strand. So I want to leave you with this. Armed with this new knowledge, what hidden details will you uncover in your property search today? Get out there, start searching, and happy hunting.